Hi. So this is currently me from the future, 2025, and I don't know if I actually had a time travel because I just got here, and I'm currently looking at myself at 2023, and he's currently lying down. If only I could show him what 2025, which is like 1,000 days from now, would look like. So Mr. Daniel has this very good gift of being able to come up with imaginations. Like he's quite imaginative. Part of this gift has been the major reason he comes up with good algorithm. But I can really be honest to you, if there was any reason why Mr. Daniel did not really achieve a whole lot or wasn't able to achieve every single thing he kept his hand on, it was practically because he wasn't, working with a good team and he had distractions, like a whole lot of distractions. So there was a plan that came into Mr. Daniel's mind early 2022, and I'm really very happy that he was able to put it into fruition 2023. Well, as of today is currently the hold on 21st of February 2023, and here I'm looking at Mr. Daniel watching his present self, and he's probably asking himself what is the next move and how he would solve the problem within the oil sector in Nigeria. Okay, Mr. Daniel, this is my current advice to you. The first step is to first understand the customer base. My customer base, I mean the people whom you would be solving this problem. Because I mean, at this particular point, 2025, you figured out a couple of things, and these were the things you figured out. Now, 2025, your company was doing very well, being one of the number one delivery, you know, company in the whole of Nigeria, where people can easily order for oil-related products, petrol, gas, anything related to energy, and they would have a personnel on the company, come get it fixed. The Okek Energies you created wasn't just Okek Energies for natural gas. It was Okek Energy that solved lots of issues related to, energy as a whole. One of the biggest financial breakthrough for Elon Musk was getting into the energy space. Now, Elon Musk, which is, who he is, we all know him, has lots of factories. And every single one of these factories has something related to energy. Every single person hasn't realized that they are addicted to three things, and that is what Mr. Daniel figured out in 2023. The first thing they are addicted to, which is the number one of all things, is food for survival. You could stay without getting a clothes. You could stay without, doing anything. But one thing you can't stay or survive without is food. At the point, it's no longer if you want to. It's something that is a must. You can't stay without food, and no matter how you put it, at the point you would want to eat, else you die. After agriculture or food, the next thing human beings would never want to take for granted is comfort. Now this is simply why the real estate would always keep booming. People would always want to change locations, and when they do, they would always want to be in a place they're comfy, in an apartment, in a house, depending on whatever they can afford. So human beings will always want shelter after food. Now, the third thing human being would always want to stay with no matter what. It's energy. Now, energy is quite a very big word, but Danokek realized that the world has gone digital, global, and yet still, the world has evolved in such a way that there are new forms of energy, but there's always a quest for energy. Now, back in those days, we had energy of fossil, where in the cave land or in the cave setting, we gather firewood, we burn firewood so it could give us heat. So we used heat energy. Now, to cook as well, we need firewood to cook, we need basically fossil energy or heat energy. Now, in this modern day world, virtually every single thing you do or interact with has energy involved. The phone currently used to make this record requires energy, and so if the energy gets done, it has to be refilled. One way or the other, either it gets charged with one form of energy, maybe from the electricity, from your generator, from your power bank, from your inverter or solar energy, from maybe your electricity supplier if you happen to use prepaid meters, from whatever source of energy. If this phone goes off, my computer goes off, the whole light goes off, and there is no constant light, it's going to be few. Just imagine the world goes out of energy for like one day. Now imagine the whole inverters goes down. Imagine that's the same thing as the whole internet going down. So this simply means energy is basically one thing no one can actually live without. But yet still we have less people investing in it. So that is why Elon Musk, who happened to tap into energy, has consistently become the wealthiest man in the world. When you look at the billionaires in the world, for instance, the Arab, the Emirates, the Kuwait, the Prince of Dubai, these people became wealthy because they had oil, and oil is a source of energy. Just like in those days we had to use kerosene, fuel, or different natural gas, to convert into energy. The world will consistently keep needing energy, and that's why people like Dubai would consistently keep earning. Elon Musk is going to be a trillionaire, not billionaire, but a trillionaire, because he's constantly trying to improve batteries, solar system. He's trying to create more sustainability within renewable energy. And soon, there will be lots of cars using renewable energy. There will be lots of houses powered by inverters. And people like the Dubai wouldn't really be as powerful as they would, years from now. What Mr. Daniel did 2023 was something I loved. He launched his first service called OKEC Energies. As of when he actually did it, just like I said at the beginning, people go through most of his record. In fact, as a matter of fact, me coming in from the future to tell him this, because by 2025, I think this. Sorry, I have to call to this notes in a hurry. I have to let the current Mr. Dannyokec in 2023 stay. But should you hear me talk again from the future, just simply say, I am the Dannyokec from the future. I come on or I step in whenever Mr. Dana constantly focuses on the future. Now, that is when I'm able to speak through him. The average people are constantly focused on the present. So they're not really seeing much of their future, and their future don't even reflect in their current actions. Mr. Dana has constantly been doing something you all should emulate. He spends more time imagining what years from now is going to be like. And each time he does that, he constantly wants to keep making research on what he could do to solve certain issues. Like the OKEC energy was drawn out of an inspiration from the current unrests in oil and gas supply in Nigeria. Fuel is almost impossible to get at the moment, and diesel, it's not as easily sorted as it used to be. Gas is constantly increasing, and even getting it's difficult because there is a heavy queue. 2023, Mr. Dannyokec Onyewuchi Dannyokec, which is my junior self currently in 2023, or who I'm seeing currently in 2023, decided to launch a service which is the OK Gas Energies. Now, this is a platform that doesn't really focus much on selling petrol the normal way everybody does. Rather, it's a platform that has three major sections. The first one is logistics delivery of petrol or energy products. Now, this simply means anything that has to do with gas, your cooking gas, diesel, petrol. These are things you could easily order and have them delivered to you. Now, also, Mr. Daniel has chosen to go fully. The year 2014, Mr. Daniel learned how to install solar energy and inverters in Port Harcourt precisely. He worked with a company that was completely solar energy, renewable energy, and he did it from 2014 down to almost the ending of 2014. So he thought about going fully into renewable energy this year. However, every single person has issues in affording solar energy because of the high prices. So part of Okek Energy came up with an installment plan where people can have the Okek inverter being installed in their house and they get to pay a monthly fee. Now, the aim is to get a whole lot of battery and good inverters to supply people's home. That way, they will have consistent electricity, where at the end of the month, they remit a particular amount to Mr. Daniel. Now, to the Okek Energies. Now, imagine having to pay for electricity in Nigeria and you're constantly having issues with NEPA or whatever electricity supplier you have. You pay for light, you load prepaid, most times it's not constant. Now, Mr. Daniel's solution is to go to those places where there is a high volume of scarcity or where there's a high scarcity of, electric power and, introduce a solar system where for every particular compound you're being installed. So based on the amount of things you have, in your house, you have an installation and you'll be given a flat fee of what you'll be paying. Now, this simply means a student in a hostel can simply sign up and have the solar energy being installed in their house. Now, they keep on having renewable energy 24/7 and they just pay a flat fee. Now, let me remind you that they don't own the solar energy. So, whenever they stop paying, Mr. Daniel's company comes in, takes it, and gives it to someone who is able to pay. Now, this and the first one has been the two things he unveiled. I'm not going to tell you the last one. It's going to hit as a surprise. But this is currently 2023, 21st of February. And at this particular point in time, he only supplies to Abuja and Lagos. By 2025, when you get to 21st of February, I want you to have a relay on what Mr. Dannyokec Energy looks like again. Come back to this voice notes or this particular video. And if you're watching this from the future, I want you to be able to smile because you must have been using one form of Okek energy. You probably ordered for, an energy product. But then, remember this whole process was done one after the other in your presence. So if Mr. Daniel keeps thinking from the future and he has seen an opportunity in the oil and gas section, I want you to join him. Join him on the launch on the 28th of March when the Okek Energy is going to be unveiled. If you watch this to the end, hit the thumbs up button and share an idea with him.